Thank you very much, and good afternoon, everyone. We have a note today for you on the event that's going on at the General Assembly. So today, the General Assembly Hall is hosting a meeting to mark the global launch of the International Year of Indigenous Languages. President María Fernanda Espinosa is chairing the event, which is also being attended by the President of the Plurinational State of Bolivia, His Excellency Evo Morales, representatives of indigenous peoples, UN entities, and member states. The high-level event of the GA is marking the beginning of the International Year of Indigenous Languages and provide the opportunity for member states and relevant stakeholders to exchange views and best practices about their preservation, promotion, and revitalization. According to UNESCO, there are 370 million indigenous people in the world. 90 countries have indigenous communities. There are 5,000 different indigenous cultures around the world, and 268 languages are in danger of disappearing. The International Year of Indigenous Languages aims to increase understanding and international cooperation and to create favorable conditions to knowledge sharing and dissemination of good practices, as well as to integrate indigenous languages. The high-level events and the high-level events at the GA will continue until late afternoon. And on the PGA's agenda, Mrs. Espinosa is having a bilateral meeting with His Excellency President Evo Morales, a luncheon with the group of local cities and governments, and later today she will meet with His Excellency Ambassador of Austria, Ian Kickert, and chair the closing of the high-level event on the International Year of Indigenous Languages at the GA. More details on our website, un.org PGA/73, or our YouTube channel, United Nations GA 73. And this is actually all from us. Do you have any questions? No? Okay, so you do? Somebody said, okay, go ahead, please.
I'm not sure if my colleagues asked about this question about any country bringing up a vote about the membership of Venezuela. Is there any movement at the General Assembly with that regard? I know formally there's nothing so far, but anything you can tell us with this regard?
Okay. There is no need for a vote on the membership of Venezuela because Venezuela is a member already. Yes, you mean the delegation representing? Okay. Yes, no, we have been talking about that already. Basically, when there is a request for a delegation being represented at the United Nations, this request has to go through what we call the Credentials Committee. This committee has 9 members and currently is being chaired by Palau. And it met last year. Last year, all delegations were received the recognition at the United Nations, and this is basically how you get a delegation represented here. As we said, there is no such request, and so there is no. I cannot follow up on the elements of your question.
Is there any meeting of the committee coming up? Can you please tell us, like, are they meeting annually or periodically? How is that procedure?
Yeah, the
works?
meeting for giving or sharing the credentials of the delegations, it happens in September. The present delegations recognized by the Credentials Committee received the information or the confirmation in December, and there is actually a resolution on that on the website, so I can send you the information. But basically, we do not have any requests in this regard, and therefore there is no. But I think it is clear. It's actually useful to make to state the difference. So there's no membership of the country. The country is a member. It's basically what you are asking is if there is a request for another delegation representing a country, and this is the procedure. It has to go through the Credentials Committee, 9 members. Yeah, go ahead.
The same subject, were there any meetings that took place between the BGA and somebody from the Venezuelan mission, or any meetings in planning?
The
Thank you.
PJ has been following this topic very, very closely. The latest political developments, but also she has been since she even before she landed. You will remember last week back in New York from her trips from Pakistan and Oman. She was being briefed and in touch, so she came back and she discussed this matter with several representatives. And I can say that today, for instance, she is meeting President Evo Morales, and this will be on the agenda. Yeah, they'll be talking about that as well. But again, her statement is very clear. There must be a constructive dialogue. So parties shall get together, and she has been making very clear that she does not see any other way than urgent political dialogue focused on the need for peace and stability. That goes, of course, that is consistent with Venezuela's constitutional, international law, but also that ensure the well-being of Venezuelans, because the PJ has been saying from a while, I don't want to be repetitive, but you will remember from our briefings here, that she is concerned about the well-being of Venezuelans, the people of this country. And we mentioned a few days ago that there are about 3 million people who left the country because of the crisis. So she's calling on a constructive, urgent political dialogue. And you will remember that also she met with the CARICOM leaders, and that was also the message from this meeting. Yeah. Okay, thank you very much, all of you, and I see you on Monday. So have a wonderful... and because today we have this international Year of Indigenous Languages, I will say something in Quechua. Thank you. Thank you very much.